Harmony's good?
Let's talk comics.
Hey, hashtag. You can hashtag it. You can hashtag it.
No one is using that hashtag.
Who knows? You might.
No.
It could be a
one,
thing. It could be a thing. You
no
don't know.
one
You
is-
don't know it can't be a thing.
No one is using that
Stop
hashtag.
limiting the hashtag.
I'm hashtag blocking.
That's dirty. I need a shower. All right. So it is.
We're doing this way, guys, out there on YouTube land. I don't know how many of you guys pay attention to the continuity of our recordings, but you can kind of tell how we start our Sunday morning and how we end our Sunday morning. And I generally post them in the order we record them. And
Right.
typically, we start with a review, we go to previews, we do whatever special we've got for the week, and then we do our continuity piece. This week we're not doing a continuity piece because we had a really great interview and we did a DC Comics Breaking from Diamond special that we got to do an interview with a local comic book shop owner, Richard Davis from Nirvana Comics. And it was a whole lot of fun. But doing our review last is kind of weird and different.
Yeah, this is normally we do this first. So anyway,
Yeah.
weird continuity.
So let's boot this up and
Let's boot it up.
and do the thing. Hi there, I'm David.
And I'm Garin.
And we are the Printed Panel Podcast, and today we are doing a review of our June 3rd reads.
June 3rd.
And this was a DC exclusive week for me. You have some things that aren't DC, but before we begin, let's talk
Let's
comics.
talk comics.
Let's talk comics. Come on there, Dan. Let's talk comics. Come on, Garin. Let's get on the podcast and talk those comic books. I promised you something special this week.
The fuck was this?
Because this is what you make me feel like when you say, let's talk comics. You're welcome. I've been planning that for a week.
So we've been walking.
I'm Marv Albert.
We've
Let's talk comics.
Wow. So we've been talking about. Wow, it's even worse.
Yeah.
So we've been walking because we're both trying to get some
Fit.
exercise. So trying to get
Trying
fit.
to lose this gut, baby.
So we were walking several mornings, and I knew he was going to pull something on me, but I didn't know it was going to be this good.
It's going to be great.
This is a good time to talk comics, people.
Let's talk comics.
Let's talk comics. So for me this week, since
I've held that in for a week since Ben told me.
is it like a sneeze?
Yeah, oh no, that corny 70s
Yeah, that's
announcer voice, man.
So
Let's talk comics.
Oh, wow.
Hashtag
you even
let's
pulled,
talk.
like,
Oh my God.
Marv Albert.
Yeah.
Did he bite people?
I'm Marv Albert. He was an announcer. He didn't bite people. What are you
One of
talking
those
about?
announcers that he went crazy and like bit some woman.
I can officially say I don't know this story.
Okay, anyway.
Yes, Ben, that bit was for you. This is what you get when you encourage Garin, and I have to go along instead of ejecting an idea.
So that's fine. So Red Mother number
Your Red Mother.
5.
What did you say?
We should start over.
No, we shouldn't. We should totally go with this.
So all right.
Let's
So
talk comics.
Boom Comics or Boom Studios, Red Mother number 5. Fantastic kind of end to this story arc. So this whole time, after she was attacked and after she had to have her eye replaced and she's been seeing these red flashes, she finally sees this Baba Book or whatever demon thing.
It's a Baba Book.
And all these other people can see the demon as well because they've also been affected and they're trying to affect her. Well,
She could go all the way.
she did go all the way. She ran from the demon. She runs away. She runs into the subway, and the demon, she almost falls in, and actually almost falls and dies on the subway tracks. The demon brings her back, and then says, Daisy. And as he's doing this, she shoves him in front of the oncoming train.
Like you do.
So there's this red blood splatter all over the place. Gets on her and her clothes, and she's like, "Oh, okay." And she goes back to her house. I mean, just like nothing happened. So then you find out she's been offered a job in London. She's going to go take it, and she sees her brother and his kid, and then there's a funeral. They finally have a funeral for her boyfriend, or fiance. So that it's very cathartic, but. Clearly, there's more to this story. This is definitely not over. But she's going to run to London and try to get away from it. So this is a good book. I've really enjoyed this story. So, still me. Batman Superman number 9. Mm-hmm. So number 7, 8 was all about Ra's al Ghul.
Ra's al Ghul and Zod, right?
Zod, right. Now this is pretty cool. This basically is all about Ultra Humanite. So at the beginning, you see this the beach outside Gotham, and there's these two detectives that have found this person who's clearly been dumped there, who has been wired up and has been drained of blood, drained of all fluids, and they can't figure out what's going on. And then the Atomic Skull, who has been dormant and who has been at peace for many years, has gone crazy. He's escaped from somebody. He won't say who, Ultra Humanite. And then, of course, Batman finds him, and Batman has told Bullock, listen, hold your people back. Don't let them do anything. I'll take care of this. Well, you still have these policemen coming in to stop the Atomic Skull. Well, in doing so, hey, great. Do you mind? I'm working. Anyway, so he says, listen, he's trying to get you. He's trying to get you to go against Superman and defeat Superman. He says that's his plan is. It's like, okay, well, interesting. So, flash forward, Atomic Skull blows up, almost kills Batman. Batman and Superman are now trying to find out what happened, and then you see these two detectives that are going into this cave near where this guy's been dumped on the beach, and Ultra Humanite appears. And at first it looked like Grodd. I'm like, ooh, Grodd. Nope, it's Ultra Humanite. So it's very interesting. Good story. Kind of see what happens next. It's kind of fun. So, but you want to talk about a really good book, Catwoman, 80th anniversary.
Well, I disagree. This is exactly the thing I hate in comics. But I knew it was going to be valuable in. First of all, I have an amazing J. Scott Campbell cover.
Yes, you do.
I'm waiting on my Frank Cho cover. Hopefully, it'll show up. Screw you, Diamond. But Tom King wrote a piece of this story. Your speculation, and again, we've been walking, 5-6 days a week together, so we've had lots of time to talk about this. Your speculation is the original plan to do 5G and replace Batman, replace Superman, all that stuff. The reason that we were going to get a replacement for Batman
Batman wasn't going to be killed.
Is a reveal here. And I love the splash page here, and that is Bruce and Selina with her very clearly pregnant.
And there was supposed to be a whole book of Bat and Cat that I believe Tom King was going to do, but it was going to be them getting married and having a kid.
Who do you see in this pretty little panel? Helena. Now,
Helena, I think it's Helena.
Whatever you say, buddy.
Anyway.
But this
but go forward, because we know it's Helena because
that's the name of the story.
Well,
so on the very last page, as Selina Kyle's talking to her mother,
the story is called Helena. Or Helena.
So, Helen is Helena.
Helena.
Yeah. So anyway, this is and isn't a first appearance. So,
well, here's the deal.
Tell me about Earth 2.
So, Earth 2...
And they recently released...
the facsimile
edition.
Of her origin.
Of...
Helena.
Of Huntress.
The Huntress, Helena Wayne. So, Helena Wayne...
Batman's daughter.
Batman's daughter in Earth 2. Catwoman and Batman get together. This is a whole different universe.
It's Earth 2.
It's Earth 2. So Superman is an older Superman. He's got the gray, and he and Lois Lane have been married for years. And Robin actually winds up taking over for Batman for a while. But before that, he works for the CIA. Remember, this is Dick Grayson. It's a very different storyline. But again, they have a kid. That's one of the reasons that Batman semi-retires because of the kid.
And Huntress takes over, and she has kind of a combination of Selina's agile thievery kind of thing and Bruce's sense of justice. And this is not Huntress from Earth 1, who is the daughter of a crime boss who was killed, and she came back and got revenge with the crossbow.
Not Wayne.
Extreme crossbow girl.
And
crazy crossbow
in Earth 1, she becomes part of the Bat family because of who she is, but he has to make her promise not to kill. That's the big deal. And of course, she has a really hard time with this.
Her and Jason Todd hook up.
Yeah, so, but only after Jason is
resurrected.
So, yeah, that was an interesting character, and I really liked this guy. Well, there were some good stories in that. The Oracle story was really good. The story where she's taking down the taxidermist who's been killing endangered species. That was a good story too.
So more than likely, I'm going to end up with 3 copies of this because I'm going to find me a nice thick frame and hang J. Scott Campbell.
That's
and
gorgeous.
when my Frank Cho
Because
cover comes in,
that's one of the best Catwoman ever.
yeah, when my Frank Cho cover comes in, it'll hang on the wall, and I'll have a main cover or an original cover.
You didn't like the alien thing with the Julie Newmar in that one? That was awesome. It was dumb, but it was a point.
It was very dumb, and
It was supposed to be dumb. That's okay.
guys, right now is a really important time to be thinking about. If you're a speculator, what books may be worth something, because that actually could be the main continuity first appearance of Helena Wayne or Helena Kyle.
We think it's probably going to be Wayne, because Bruce definitely would have accepted that as his
Except
child.
for they did get married.
Oh.
And that's a main point of the current continuity.
That's a good point. That's a good
which
point.
is why I think that's... I think he will hide. Now, sorry, I have to pull this back out and make this lovely sound again. I love it.
Really?
I love it. I like it better than the stupid tape bags and boards. One of the most disturbing parts of that whole section is they go through and they're fighting all of they fight Two-Face, they fight Mr. Freeze, they fight Killer Croc, they fight Riddler, Joker. You, him, that, you must be joking. Joker knows in this continuity that, and she's very visibly pregnant, that they're together and that they're having a child. And when you start to look at some of the other Joker War things, I could very much see Bruce putting Selina and little whatever baby into hiding to save them from the Joker. Also, there's a lot in there about how she doesn't want to be a mother, and then it actually seems to be pretty good.
It's a pretty good story.
Yes.
It's Tom King.
It's very well
It's
done.
a good story.
Yeah.
So, what do you got next?
So, I'm sorry, you didn't get a copy.
We got shorted, and it's okay. I'll get
Detective
a copy
Comics
this week.
1022. So, this is why I hate taped bags. This is a prelude to Joker War, and it begins to wrap up the fight between Two-Face and Batman that's going on.
Yeah.
And so you find out in the issue that Two-Face was going to suicide.
Right.
And he pulled his 45 and he shot himself in the head, thinking he could get rid of the Two-Face identity forever. Well, instead of that happening, some of the lieutenants from the Cult of Two actually were homeless and find him, and they find $75,000 worth of cash on him. Well, they realize that they can make more money auctioning Two-Face off to the other criminals and perhaps starting their own criminal organization than just going there, which is when Joker shows up to claim...
This is the face-off.
And this is a really important picture. Now, we are in past New 52 continuity.
This was New 52.
This happened during the New 52, and actually there's a continuity note that these two are stumbling upon a scene from way back in Batman and Robin number 28.
Wow.
Wow,
that's when Bruce wasn't even Batman and Robin. Wow.
So, Mechanic Joker in the Joe Fix-It suit, with his mechanics box,
Joe
and
Fix-It.
that was actually what his name tag said.
Joe Fix-It?
Yeah.
You mean the homage to Hulk being Joe?
Yes.
Wow.
So, and it just says Joe here, but
okay.
In one of the things it said Joe Fix-It.
I remember that now. Wow.
So,
That is a great homage.
face cut off Joker, however we want to describe him, New 52 Joker, actually shows up and has someone operate on Two-Face. So since the New 52, everything Two-Face has done, that means All-Star Batman and Robin, or All-Star Batman, has been at the Joker's behest. Joker has been setting these plans in motion a long time. That also means...
because the designer...
that also means that this Joker, the face cut off Joker, is the current continuity Joker.
How did he get his face sewed
How did he get his face sewed back on? So
did he stick his face in a
here
Lazarus pit?
you see him with his face back, and I love this. He's beating the hell out of a wall with a pickaxe, and setting up whatever he's doing. And Harvey may have been an early draft pick, but it looks like I have myself a new recruit, and he's clearly breaking into the Court of Owls. So, Joker War is going to be a hell of an event. and I may actually pull all of the tie-in books.
Starts this week.
Easily my favorite thing I read this week of the 3 whopping things I read.
So I had Far Sector number 7. God, man, I really, really want you to read this book. But so essentially what's happened, and we know now she is an ex-Brooklyn cop who essentially stood by as her partner beat to death a black man. She covered up for him until she couldn't do it anymore.
God, that's so not a good time to be having that as the topic.
This happened 3 issues ago, which was 4 months ago now, and so now we're talking now we're seeing these things that have come to light. It's very topical now. But she's on this planet because one of the Guardians has given her a lantern ring that does not need to be recharged, because once it's out, it's out. I mean, that's it. There's no battery. She doesn't know the oath. She doesn't know none of these things. But she's sent to this outlying planet to help fix and be a policeman for these people. And what's happened is these people have this emotional suppressant that they're using. So now they're using something to give the emotion back, and it's causing problems. It's making them murderers because they're having all these deep things that they're trying to hide. They can't do anymore.
If you don't know how to deal with your emotions, and suddenly you have a lot of them, oh my God.
So, very much on topic. Last issue that we're now experiencing now in real life, the basically president of the head of the council opens fire on protesters. Yeah, so he comes to her after she said, "You've got to resign." He comes to her, and after he's had this anti-emotion serum, and he gives her this flower. It's actually a flesh-eating flower, and he says, "Listen, I'm going to resign." And she said, "Why? Because of me?" He said, "Well, yeah." And he's wanting to court her. He's wanting to see what kind of happens to the two of them. They're very, very different races, but. And at this point, we kind of believe that she is we may think she might be a lesbian because there's a female character she's clearly intimate with, but she winds up having sex with him. So she's, bisexual. I don't know. We don't know really officially, but
these are not questions that comic books should make.
But here's my favorite thing about this comic. So at the very end, she's tracking down this lead because one of her allies is being attacked. They're trying to find out what's going on. And she finds this armor that hasn't existed for thousands of years, has been resurrected. And
Fumble!
So at the end, she says, "Oh, y'all done fucked up now." And if this isn't a DC comic, y'all didn't cover it up, y'all done fucked up now. I've never used this ring to see what it does, but we're going to find out now. And all this armor and weaponry just pops out in green, and she's like, "Let's go." Boom. So now I kind of want to see what happens next. So there's only 12 issues in this series. They've clearly set it up so that it could be animated very well. But if you look at her, this could be Joelle Jones. I think is her name, the singer. They set it up to. It's like when they did Ultimates and they had Samuel Jackson as Nick Fury.
Yeah.
They clearly set the character up for it, which is really, really cool. So great book. Okay.
So this is where I'll tap out for the episode, but The Last God, Tales from the Book of Ages.
So if you imagine you want to write a D&D, a campaign.
If I had my guess, Philip Kennedy Johnson plays his game in this world.
Yeah, this is a module. This is an old style module.
No, this is a source book.
Or source book.
It's not a module. A module would have an adventure in it. It does not have an adventure. Okay, so let me back up and let's get into out of our nerd jargon. Let me get out of your nerd jargon for a second. All right. The Last God, Tale from the Book of Ages, is a 5th edition supplement book. It also happens to be a clarification in history of what's going on in the Last God comic.
Right.
I am no less confused than I was before because, honestly, I picked up Comics Wednesday. Between Wednesday and Sunday today, there was no way that I was going to read this is not a comic book. This is a dense, double columned text. It's, again, 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons compatible.
Journey to the world of Cain Anun in this role-playing campaign source book.
Right. This is a source book. And fumble. And so it maps out the history of the world. It maps out its gods. It gives monsters from the world that are unique. It gives...
But it does have character sheets in here, too. There's sheets, but there's character information here and here. So it is designed so that you could make your own campaign from it.
Yes, and that's the purpose of it. Yeah. It also gives you the structure of the world, so you can use that to make the comic make sense. I'm absolutely going to pick up a copy of all of this now for my favorite DMing friend, and say, you may or may not want this, but you should have this with your 5th edition collection.
Yeah, I think at a minimum the source book is important, but make sure she has all of it. So, we got a few months to go before the number 12 is out, but you know. So IDW produced Star Trek. You may know, I'm a Trekkie.
You read a lot of thick comics this week.
This is a big one too. So this is Star Trek Year 5. This is the 5th year of Kirk on the Enterprise.
Their 5-year mission.
Essentially,
let's talk comics.
He is let's talk comics. So he is at the end of his time. He knows that at some point they're going to promote him. In fact, they've already tried to promote him. He said no twice. And he's like, listen, and he's after this last adventure they had with these water dwelling creatures. He's kind of going through things with himself. He's trying to figure out what he wants to do. So the first thing you see is you see Gary 7. We haven't seen Gary 7 since the original series back in 1968. Gary 7 is basically a time agent. His cat Isis comes with him. Isis is an actual humanoid that can turn into other creatures. She chooses a black cat form. She very much likes Spock. Got you there. So Gary 7 is sent to the Enterprise to basically destroy it, to kill Kirk. He's sent from the future to kill Kirk because something's going to happen. We don't know yet. That's what it boils down to. And so Kirk, of course...
He's going to get space syphilis, and he's going to go insane. He's going to do something nasty to Spock.
So anyway, so they evacuate the Enterprise into a small planet. Isis follows Spock because I think Spock is her target. And, of course, his target is Kirk. And, of course, when he goes on the Enterprise, he thinks he can just shut down the antimatter engines and destroy the ship that way. Well, Kirk prevents him. And he doesn't realize exactly how clever James T. Kirk is, but he's going to find out soon. This was a good
There's
story.
some thing trying to kill me.
I will find out what it is. Okay. So my last one is from Vault. This is Finger Guns number 2. Just as good as Finger Guns number 1, but it's much deeper. You're starting to find out more. So the young lady who this kid finds at the mall, also using finger guns, you see her at the very beginning defending her mother, who her father is basically trying to beat on. She basically jumps on him and she uses finger guns on him and it just doesn't work. Nothing works on him. She zaps him like 10 times. Finally, he throws her off and he's about to hit her, but he realizes the error of his ways and he walks away. She and his mother kind of make up. She and her mother make up and they fix dinner together. Well, at school, she's fallen behind and part of it is this, and she sees this kid and they go hang out together. They go play video games at his house and she's like, your parents don't care if I come over? It's like, my dad doesn't care about anything. He's never here. So at the end, after this bonding moment where they realize that they're actually friends now, she pulls out the life insurance policy and she says, I think my dad's going to murder my mom. And that's where it ends. So it's been a good story. But you keep rolling your eyes. You've rolled your eyes 3 times at me so far. You stop rolling your damn eyes. Damn your eyes. Anyway, so that's it for me. I had a pretty good...
So on the quality comics you've been reading this week, someone traveled in time to kill Kirk.
Uh-huh.
And a kid tried to stop domestic abuse using...
Finger guns.
Finger guns.
Yeah. The really cool thing, too, is she figures out that you can use sign language. So she's trying to use sign language to do the same thing, and only that doesn't work. Only the finger gun part works. So it's pretty cool. I had Far Sector. It's pretty cool. So I love the judgmental look. It's fun.
No. See, what I'm doing very quietly and very subtly is making your wife aware of these extra books you're reading.
She understands.
And eventually, she's going to take away your lunch money. And you'll be like, I'm going to read 3 damn books this week. Well, why? Because I got made fun of for reading finger guns.
I don't have lunch money. Let's be clear. Okay, so this is a good week. This was next week's going to be a huge week for comics. Can't wait for that.
Join us next time when we talk
comics. Let's talk comics.
in, see what you've
Let's
done.
get tropical.
This is what happens when you support him.
Whatever.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We really do appreciate you.
Guys.
Please, please, please find us on your favorite podcasting site.
Because we're on
Subscribe.
everything.
More important than that, right now, we're really trying to build a viewership on YouTube. I understand our videos are a bit longer than the 15-minute, ghost videos or cooking videos or, reaction videos.
If you really like them, share. Tell your people.
But
tell your friends.
Tell your friends about it.
Yeah.
Get us out there. Subscribe, follow. We really do appreciate it. Thank you very
We love you all.
much.
Thanks so much, guys.
Let's talk comics.
Oh, we're not talking.